Good morning, Connections. You're supposed to do that, remember? I'm not the good morning guy. You're the good morning person.
Sorry, I forget.
Do
Good
it. All right.
morning. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Andy.
And we are so excited that you are joining us online. Welcome to
you.
church.
Welcome, church.
Wait, you say thank you?
Like, thank you for joining us.
Oh, I thought you meant like,
I wasn't thanking you for anything.
no, I thought you were like
Oh.
saying thank you. Like, I'm so excited that you're here. You're like, thank you.
Oh. Okay, that's worked. I'll just do that from now on.
Thank
We
you.
are so excited here. Thank you. Before we move further, I'd like to.
Further?
Words are hard this morning.
Okay,
Before
we need to redo.
We do need to redo.
We need to like get up and
Three.
spin and like
Okay.
redo. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Good morning.
And
I'm
welcome
Elizabeth.
to Connections Community Church, and I am Andy. Thank you. Before we move further, I'd like to direct you, as always, to our QR code. That's our digital connections card. Whether you're first time, long time, we'd love to hear from you. We will not inundate you with more than you ask for, except a thank you and a little gift.
Thank
Woo.
you.
Thank you. I think that's going to be our thing today. Every time I see him, it's going to go,
Thank you.
All right.
We can harmonize.
Thank
you.
Okay, that didn't work.
Actually, kind of.
Not bad. How was your week?
It was all right. How was yours?
It was busy. But then Friday was great. I took Friday
Yes.
off. Your dad and I went to the Motor City Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
So we got to nerd out and have fun.
Comic-Con.
Then we went to a local toy show yesterday. So your dad and I just hung out all day, all week. It
A
was great.
local toy show?
Yeah, we didn't have to drive far at all. Just at the Kalamazoo Expo Center.
Perfect.
Super fun. Yep.
Man, if you missed out on the toy show, I'm so sorry.
There's two every year. This is the second one we've been to.
You gotta inform the people before it happens.
No, because we don't
not
want more
after.
people there to possibly take what we want.
To take your toys.
Take our toys from us. Oh, boy. Thank you. All right. Do you have a joke for us? No.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
My dad, Steve, came up here and started talking, got me distracted. I didn't
I
have
know.
time to look for a joke, and I'm not funny enough to come
Well, here,
up
why
with
don't I
one
keep
on the
talking a
fly.
little bit about that, and you find one about, like, a quick joke about Comic-Con, and I'll talk a little bit more about Comic-Con.
Okay.
So,
Jokes about nerds.
It's just a picture of me on there. Oh, boy. Anyway, while
Boy.
she's looking that up, we're just going to move on a little bit because Big Serve is happening now. Sign-ups are happening now. Excuse me. Big Serve is coming in the next few weeks. So it's May 28th through June 1st. Sign up today for one of our Big Serve sites. There's multiple sites. I think there's like 8 or 9. How many are there?
I don't know. But,
Well, you really haven't done anything this week to prepare,
okay.
have you?
But do you want to hear a construction joke?
Yes.
I'm
You know
still
what?
working
You know
on
what?
it.
Given all the construction on the road, I was just about to set you up, and you did that. I'm still working on it. You know what? Construction is also needed for Big Serve sites. So I'm going to keep us on track.
That's what I was trying to do.
Sure you were.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No, okay, thank
Doesn't
you.
work.
I know. All right, sorry. I'll just sit here. Go ahead.
Stop
you
talking.
talk over. Okay.
Big Sur.
All skill levels are needed for big. No, sorry. You go ahead.
All skill levels are needed.
Thank
It
you.
is a full week.
Yep.
It starts the 28th of May. It's a Tuesday because Monday is Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Tuesday, May 28th through Saturday, June 1st. And there are a couple different sites each day.
Yep.
So there are multiple opportunities. You can, if you're more skilled at the tools,
At
unlike
the
me.
tools.
then there are job sites that you can help with. Or if you are more skilled at the painting or the yard
At
work,
the paintbrushes.
at the paintbrushes,
The lawnmowers or the weed whippers?
the pulling of the weeds,
Oh yeah.
then there are job
There's
sites for you.
multiple sites.
And there are job sites that are kid-friendly,
Yep.
which is very helpful.
And there's also a blanket site because I know
Yes.
Angie's leading that. So we're tying
Go,
more.
Angie!
We're tying more blankets to give out. It's gonna
Yes.
be it's gonna be an awesome week. Like
Yes.
in the past, we've taken off a Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
And sometimes people are on vacation or just have
Yeah.
stuff come up. So this way you have a whole week to help out as often
Yes.
as you can and
Yes.
as many different
It's
sites
gonna be
and
great.
opportunities. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
And
the
we
start
hope
of
to see
something
you
new.
there.
We'd love to see you there.
Yes.
We
Let's
would
move
also
on. Where else would we like to see the people?
at a New to Connections dinner party. If you're
Whoa.
new, we have the party just for you. Ooh, that rhymes. New, have a party just for you.
Wow, you're like Dr. Seuss.
I know, but the way you looked down, you were like, no, it
No,
doesn't. And
because
I'm like, did you
I-
think I can't rhyme?
Yes, but
Thank you. Boy,
We-
things are always unhinged when you and I are on the pre-show together.
we're never going to be allowed to do this again. Just
Really? I
kidding.
got my
We're-
Sundays back?
We're, enter-
Just kidding.
we're
You're never getting rid of me.
entertaining.
We are entertaining. Well, one of us is entertaining, and one of us doesn't bring jokes. Anyway, the New to Connections dinner party is June 14th,
Whoa.
and it's hosted by one of our favorite families, who is
The Woolhouse family.
awesome family, amazing
Yeah.
family, and this is great because you can sign up on our events tab on our website or the app. The website
Or-
is hold on. Oh yeah,
my3c.org. Or you can scan up there
and you can search Church Center,
on
find the little swirly, and there's connections.
my little swirly right there.
Well, that was a nice job.
Thanks, I've been
Wait,
practicing.
if I go this way,
Wait, no, because I need to like have my arm pop out
Oh,
the
you're
other
right.
way. We've tried this before.
it doesn't work.
We need to stop embarrassing ourselves.
I can't do that. That's what I do every week.
Yeah, that's my biggest goal in life. Embarrass Andy.
My biggest goal. I do that to myself. You don't have to do anything. You just have to sit there and go, thank you.
Thank you.
Comment on when I say something that I thought was kind of funny or nice, and you're like, no, Andy, that was dumb.
At least you can rhyme.
On time.
That
Rhyme
just
in time.
That didn't make sense though. Okay, Andy.
Anyway,
stop.
sorry, we got-
Stop. June 14th, New to Connections dinner. If you're new, or if you just want to meet more people, or if you have questions, a staff family will be there.
Yep.
The
You might
Woolhouse
get
family
lucky.
will be there.
And you might get Josh. You
Or
might be
you-
unlucky and you get Dave.
Yeah, womp
Sorry.
womp. But yeah, it's a great time to just like get to know some people.
Yep.
So then on Sunday you can come here and you can like be like, hey, I know you. I saw you at dinner.
It could be the start of your church family.
Yes. Every time you do that,
What?
it could be the start is like a High School Musical song.
Really?
And I worked on that show, so every time you say that, you've said that like 3 times, and
Oh.
in my head I'm like, oh, he's gonna start singing, but you don't.
What would we sing?
It could
Be
be
the
the
start
start
of
of something new.
Your church family. All right. Speaking of church families, I want to hear from them right now. So we're going to turn over to
Someone.
our interviewer. Take it away.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm back again. And as you see behind me, we have our Big Serve set up because Big Serve is coming up really soon. And we're excited about it. And the best part about Big Serve is that anyone can do it. It's whether you're a little kid, whether you're an old kid, you can be a part of it too. And today we're going to play a little game with people. Inside the box, I have a bunch of tools, and we're going to show you how easy it is because I'm sure that people know what these tools are, but we're going to find out their knowledge about, as Elizabeth put it, the tools. Here we go. Let's go and let's come on over here and let's grab a teenager. Here we go. Hey, Wes.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. We're going to play a little game. Inside this box, I've got a bunch of tools. All you have to do is name the tool. Are you ready to play?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, here, hold this microphone. I'm going to pull it out, and you just tell me what it's called and maybe what it's used for. All right?
Okay.
Hold that. Hold it up to your mic.
A screwdriver, and it's used to screw in nails.
Perfect.
A hammer.
You know what kind?
No.
Rubber mallet.
Okay. A protractor.
Not a protractor.
A pro angler. Yep. A wrench. A saw. A handsaw.
All right, that was pretty good. Now, we're doing this because Big Serve is coming up. You're signing up for Big Serve, right?
I'm already signed up.
Perfect. Already signed up. Let's go and talk to somebody else. Hi. Oh, don't run away from me. We're playing a little game this morning because Big Serve is coming up, and we're showing people just how easy it is because anybody can do it. So I'm going to show you some tools. All you have to do is tell me what they're called and what they're used for.
Okay.
All right, hold that. Ready?
A wrench. Well,
Come on.
crap. I don't know.
Pass.
That's a wrench.
Yeah, here, hold it up.
That's a wrench.
How about this one?
That's a rubber mallet.
Rubber mallet. Good.
What's that? A saw?
Yeah.
Hacksaw, yeah.
And let's try this one.
I use those. Crap. The snippers. I don't know.
Okay, snips, pretty good. Okay, so you just see how easy it is. Tools are pretty easy. We do this every year, Big Serve. Hopefully you guys are going to sign up. Are you going to sign up for Big Serve?
We're gonna try. We're gonna see what they got left.
Okay, excellent. All right. Andy and Elizabeth, do you guys know the tools? Tell us what they're used for.
Okay, hammers are used to hammer screws. Screwdriver is used to
Screwdriver.
screw nails.
A saw is used to see.
Wait, what?
Seesaw?
Oh boy.
I just came up with that one.
You know what?
I'm so
Hey,
smart.
where are
That's my makeup for the joke. right
where
there.
are seesaws found?
At the park.
What's happening at a park?
Oh my gosh, guys. On Father's Day, which is Sunday, June 16th. I had to make sure I said the right day. June 16th. We are not going to be here.
Nope.
We are doing church at Prairie View Park.
Yay.
And we are so excited because it's to celebrate Father's Day, but also we are doing something new that we have never done before as like a church. And we are doing, or at least since I've been here, I don't know.
No, I haven't done this since I've been here either.
We are doing baptisms at the lake.
In the
and
lake.
we are so excited. We're going to also have like a cookout and yard games and worship and baptisms. It's going to be great. If you want to get baptized, scan that thingy,
QR code,
quick response code,
quick response code. Thank you, Adam.
and we will get you all the information, get you signed up. It'll be great. It'll be so incredible.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes. Something else coming up in June.
Yep.
On Monday, June 10th. So the week before.
Yeah, we went out of order. Sorry.
Yeah,
It was a
sorry.
good transition
Yes,
from
it
me into the
was. He did
seesaw.
great.
You were going to do this first, but
Yes.
anyway,
Okay.
a little behind the scenes, but yes.
Monday, June 10th. So a couple weeks from tomorrow.
Yep.
We are having a blood drive right here at Connections,
Yep.
and that is from, I believe it's 2:30 to 7. I looked at the times yesterday.
Yep.
Sign-ups are already available. I will be posting on social medias this week a link to register, or it's in your email if you get
Yep.
the weekly emails.
And if you've also signed up before, it's the
Yes.
same company, Versity. They make it so
Yes.
easy to come back because you've already signed up
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
before, so all of your stuff is saved. And really cool, it tells you where your blood goes and who it helps.
Yes.
So awesome.
Yes, and our community always is in need, and so if you can and are willing and available that day, consider signing up and donating. Be right here at Connections.
Thank you.
You know what else is right here at Connections?
What?
Kids Camp.
Kids Camp.
Kids Camp is coming up so soon.
Kids Camp is coming up the
Yes.
day after, because you said what? Father's Day, June
yes, okay.
16th.
Let's lay it out.
Okay.
Literally,
June
there's
10th.
only like 3 things. June 10th is
Blood drive.
That Friday, June 14th, New to Connections
dinner party.
That Sunday, June 16th,
16th,
Father's Day at Prairie View Park. That is the
Church
only
in the park.
That is the only Sunday that will be at the park. It's not
Yep.
like a whole summer thing. It's just that Sunday.
And we will get times and things to you out in our
Yes.
social media soon.
Yes. That Monday through Thursday, June 17th through the 20th, is Kids Camp right here at Connections. It is for kindergarten through 5th grade. Yes.
Ready, set, move.
And it's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. every day right here at church, and we're going to have music and games and prizes and crafts.
Whoa.
And there's going to be little messages so they can learn about how to follow Jesus here, there, and everywhere.
Which
It's
is
gonna be
one of my
great.
favorite Beatles songs.
Yes. And you can sign up by scanning that QR code,
Code.
going to events, and there is no charge for this.
Yep.
It is a great experience. If you want to volunteer, you can also scan that QR code and get volunteered. Registered to volunteer.
You can get volunteered.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
One last thing, guys. Another camp for 6th through 12th grade, because we did not forget about
Yep.
them, is summer camp at Miracle. Miracle?
It's
Camp?
actually summer retreat. But yes, at Miracle Camp, which is about
Yes.
13 minutes up the road.
Yes.
It's good. It's an amazing time. It is for, well, you already told the grades, but
Yeah.
it says here, early bird, don't worry about, I know cost starts at $230. If cost is an issue, please reach out to
Yes.
Josh Ritchie, our pastor. We do not
Because-
want
yeah.
that to get in the way of kids' experience
Yes.
a life-changing camp
Yes. And that
this
is
summer,
in July.
or retreat.
Lots of fun things coming up, but we're going to start with a
Our
service
band
this morning.
rocking our socks
Yes.
off. So hope you guys have an amazing week, and thank you for joining us. Bye.
Well, good morning, church family. Welcome to Connections. We are so glad that you guys are here this morning, ready to celebrate and worship with you. And today is a great day. Today is a special day. We're going to celebrate our graduating class this year. And we are going to worship our God, and we're going to sing out these songs up to Him. So let's do that now as we lift this up. Here we go. I'm headed to a place where the river flows. I'm headed to a place where the streets are gold. Oh, my soul, till I know. You won't need no money. You can't bring your fame. Soon the day is coming when we will see His face. Choirs will be singing, saints on bended knee, angels will be dancing, we will all be free. God in all His glory, as far as you can see, it's like every day is Sunday in the land of milk and honey. I'm heading to a place where the flowers grow. I'm heading to a place with no tombstones. See my soul till I'm home. You can't bring your money, you can't bring your fame. Forever there is only one name above all names. Choirs will be singing, saints on bended knee, angels will be dancing, we will all be free. God in all His glory, as far as you can see, it's like every day is Sunday in the land of milk and honey. We don't have to wait till the other side to see the dead come back to life. We don't have to wait till the trumpet sound. We're calling down your power now. We don't have to wait till the other side to see the dead come back to life. We don't have to wait till the trumpet sound. We're calling down your power now. Grass growing in the graveyard, spring on up, spring on up. Water flowing in the wasteland, let it run, let it run. Hope flowing where there was none, love flowing where the hate was. Promised land waiting on us, kingdom come, kingdom come. Choirs will be singing, saints on bended knee, angels will be dancing, we will all be free. God in all His glory, as far as you can see, it's like every day is Sunday in the land of milk and honey. Milk and honey. We can't wait for that day when we can stand in the presence of God, when we can truly be in the land of milk and honey, the promised land, heaven, when He calls us home, when we stand before Him and we worship Him. We look forward to that day. Sing this out with me. The odds are stacked against me, surrounded on all sides, but I heard you can walk the waters. So in your name, come and turn staring at this mountain. There's no chance of getting through. But I heard they can bow before you. So in your name, I'm asking it to move. So let that breakthrough miracle power pour out. I need a breakthrough miracle moment right now. Only in you, with you, my victory is found. Let that breakthrough miracle power, let it rain down. The fires around are raging. I feel the heat at every turn. But I heard that you're in it with me. So now by faith, I'm standing on your word. And in your name, I know I won't be burned. Let that breakthrough miracle power pour out. I need a breakthrough miracle moment right now. Only in you and with you, my victory is found. Bring that breakthrough miracle power, let it rain down. Only in you and only with you our victory is found. We worship you now, Lord Jesus. We proclaim your truth in your name. We lift this up because you are here with us. You are among us, and you are still working in this world. You're working in our lives, and the story is not finished. Sing this out as we lift this up together. As long as you're in it, the story's not finished. I know you've overcome, so I know I'll overcome. As long as you're in it, the story's not finished. I know you've overcome, so I know I'll overcome. Let that breakthrough miracle power pour out. I need a breakthrough miracle moment right now. Only in you and with you, my victory is found. Bring that breakthrough miracle power, let it rain down. Let it rain down. The cross that stands before me, it is finished, it is done. Yeah, I heard you till death it was over. So in your name, I claim this fight is won.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. And all my days
felt fire from above. I've been down to the river. I ain't the same. The prodigal return. 'Cause all my hope is in Jesus. Thank God that yesterday's gone. 'Cause all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. I'm no stranger to this prison. I won't shackles and chains. I've been freed and forgiven. I'm not going back. I'll never be the same. 'Cause all my hope is in Jesus. Thank God that yesterday's gone. 'Cause all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. There's a kind of thing that just breaks a man. Break him down to his knees. God, I've been broken more than a time or two. Yes, Lord. Then he picked me up and showed me what it means to be a man. That's why we all sing. All my hope is in Jesus. Thank God that yesterday's gone. All my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. Sing that out one more time. Here we go. 'Cause all my hope is in Jesus. Thank God that yesterday's gone. 'Cause all my sins are forgiven. 'Cause I've been washed by the blood. Yes. Lord, we have been washed by the blood of Jesus Christ. Our sins are forgiven. And we give you praise and glory for that. We sing hallelujah to your name. And we are so grateful we can stand here freely proclaiming the good news and gospel of Jesus Christ. And I pray that as that message is imprinted in our lives and our hearts, that we are bold as we go from here and we share the gospel to the world. May our hearts and minds be focused forever on you. That all of our hope does belong in you. We give you all praise and glory in the name of Jesus Christ. We lift this up. Amen.
Amen.
You guys can be seated.
Church, I'm going to ask you for a favor. These are our 2024 graduates. Will you give them a big round of applause? My name is Josh, and I'm the youth pastor here. And I think it's really awesome that last week we got to celebrate Mother's Day and we got to dedicate some little kiddos to the Lord. And now we get to go to the other spectrum and celebrate our 2024 graduates within our Next Gen ministry. I want to share a couple of verses with you guys. Hebrews 12, verses 1 and 2 say this, "And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith." Graduates, from our church to you, we are absolutely blessed that we've gotten to be a part and run your race alongside with you. We want you to know as a church that you're about to go and experience life, but we are always here for you. One of the ways that we want to show our love to you is out in the lobby, we have these Bibles. There are some tables that are by the windows, you'll see them, and we have a sign that's up for each one of these graduates. And I ask you, church, to go to those Bibles, go find your favorite verse, and go highlight that verse in there and leave a little note for each one of these graduates, so that later this week, whenever they receive the Bible, they can go through it. And through every stage of life, they can look in there and find the wisdom that you guys have left for them. So that is what I am asking you to do whenever you leave service today. But before we send these graduates off, one of the things that we want to do is pray for them. So wherever you guys are sitting, if you can just reach your arm out, and we are going to pray for each one of these graduates. God, I'm so thankful for each and every single person that you have right up here at the front of the stage, Lord. I just pray that as they enter this next stage of their life, that you remind them of your love for them. Remind them that this church is here for them each and every step of the way. That even when life gets shaky, you are right there. Again, Lord, I'm so thankful for each and every graduate. And I pray that you give them the endurance to continue running the race that you have set before them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Let's give it up for our graduates one more time. Thank you, church. You guys may be seated.
Actually, if you guys want, you can just stand up and stand right here while the message is going on. Doesn't that sound like fun? No? All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Connections. My name is Dave, one of the pastors here on staff. And if you're in the room, you're joining us online, I'm just so glad that you're here. You know, when my kids were growing up, when they were like your age here, Sandy and I would do our best to provide them with a meager means of transportation. It was a beater car, and we would provide it for them because, as you all know, it actually helps the parents. If the kids have something, they can drive and get themselves where they need to go. And our kids had a habit of giving a nickname to every car that we would give them. One of the most infamous was the Blue Whale. The Blue Whale was like a 1990-ish Ford Taurus station wagon with God only knows how many miles on it, but it seemed to get from point A to point B. You can imagine how my kids' hearts swelled with pride to show up anywhere in the Blue Whale. Well, it began to develop some idiosyncrasies and mechanical problems, and one day I decided I'd drive it to work. At the time, we were renting an office building in downtown Schoolcraft. I drove the Blue Whale into the parking lot in the back and parked it. Went in, did my work day. Came back out, started it up, but I couldn't get it out of park. And trust me, it was not some security mechanism on a car like that. Well, as it turns out, the transmission had frozen. And it was in park, and in park it would stay. That car sat there for days, weeks, months, slowly deteriorating. It stayed there until the friendly Schoolcraft Police Department left me a little note on the windshield, along with some motivation for getting that thing towed away, which is what we ended up doing. And it kind of occurs to me that the Blue Whale is a good metaphor for many people's financial lives. They're stuck, going nowhere, slowly deteriorating. What is true today will be true next week, next month, next year, next decade. People feel stressed, they feel anxiety, they feel pressure, they feel fear, they feel trapped in difficult financial circumstances where there just seems to be no peace. There are others, particularly younger people just kind of getting started in life, that are basically feeling pretty good about their financial life. However, they've already embraced habits that will inevitably lead them to the blue whale financially. Now, here is really good news, practical news. God cares about your finances. God has set principles in place that when we apply them, it will bring the blessing of God on our finances. We can be set free. We can be at peace. And we can prosper in every way that actually matters on this planet. We're going to talk about these principles in a series we're kicking off today called Getting Your Giving into Gear. The goal is that every single one of us in the not too distant future will be cruising down the generosity highway, and there will be extravagant givers. See, this whole series is based on a very simple premise. Let me share it. You want to be generous. I know you do. It's in your heart to be. You want to be generous, but many obstacles stand between you and the generous life you long to live. So we're going to discover how to overcome these obstacles so you can be every bit as generous as you want to be. See, this series is not about inducing guilt. This series is about eliciting freedom so that you and I can become who in our heart of hearts we long to be. Now, step one on cruising down the generosity highway is to get out of park by making a financial plan. One of my grandkids, Isaiah, he's 5. One of the things we love to do is go on a road trip. So we'll grab some snacks and something to drink. We'll get into the car in the garage. Me in the passenger seat, Isaiah in the driver's seat. Put on your seatbelt, Grandpa. So I'll put it on, he'll put his on, and then we take a trip, sometimes to California, sometimes to Colorado. And Isaiah will turn the wheel, and he'll turn on the hazards. He'll roll the window down in order to pay a toll. Sometimes we stop, get out to get more snacks and to stretch, hop back in, keep on a road trip. Sometimes it takes 10 minutes to get to California. But inevitably we get there. You know, again, that's like a lot of our financial lives. There's a lot of fantasizing going on. There's a lot of activity that's happening, but we're going nowhere financially. Because we don't have a plan to move us forward. We're told in Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 5 that good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. 2 casual observations about that. Number one, planning is spiritual. Financial planning is spiritual. You see, we find that financial planning is commended by God. It's encouraged by God. It's wise and good. And just to clarify, just trusting God is not a plan. It's not. Where else do you apply that in life? It's like, oh man, I see you got a nice car. What kind of maintenance do you do on that car? Oh, I don't have a maintenance plan. I just trust God. Oh, I see you've got kids at home. What's your strategy? What's your plan for getting those kids to know, love, and serve Jesus? To grow up to be men and women of character and values who can unleash a holy influence on the world. What's your plan? I don't have a plan. I'm just hoping it works out. Just trust in God. We don't apply that to any other area of life that matters. And we shouldn't apply it to finances either. See, this is not an either or proposition. It's both and. You trust God and make a plan. You trust God with your financial plan. Planning is spiritual. Second observation, working a financial plan is hard work. It's hard work. It requires focus and discipline over time. But inevitably, doing the hard work of working a financial plan leads to a future that's easier and better. No financial plan leads to a future that's harder and worse. Which road would you rather travel? Now, I want to take the remainder of our time this morning and to lean into biblical wisdom, God's wisdom, on how to make a financial plan. There are 4 crucial steps. Step number 1, assess where you are financially. Proverbs tells us in chapter 27 and verse 23, be sure to know the conditions of your flocks, to give careful attention to your herds. Now, a few of us here might have flocks and herds, but most of us probably don't. This verse was written to an agricultural culture. If this verse were written to us today, it would say something like this: make sure you know your financial condition and the state of your savings and investments. See, flocks and herds were income and investments. We have different income and investments, most of us today. Make sure you know your financial condition. Make sure you know the state of your savings and of your investments. Hey, how healthy are you financially? Do you know? Or are you guessing? And if you do know, how do you know? Is it just a feeling? If you were to ask me this morning, hey Dave, how healthy are you physically? And I hope you do. If you ask me that question, I'm going to go, I am physically fit. I am doing well. And if you go, how do you know? I wouldn't go, well, you know, I feel okay. I would be able to point you to metrics. See, I wear this fitness tracker ring, and it lets me know how long I sleep, how restful my sleep was, what deep sleep did I get, what REM sleep did I get, what is my blood oxygen level, were there any interruptions in my breathing. It lets me know my stress load throughout the course of the day and whether I've balanced it adequately. I have a watch that tells me how many steps I take, what my heart rate is while I'm working out. It lets me know about whether I should recover or push hard on a given day. If you go to my house, I have a scale. It doesn't just tell me what I weigh. It tells me what my BMI is. It tells me what my body fat percentage is, what my lean muscle mass is. It gives me all those metrics. I have a blood pressure cuff at home, and I take my blood pressure routinely. I even have a cardiomobile. That's right, I can put 2 fingers on this little thing and in 30 seconds get an EKG just to let me know how my heart is going. And I can point to every one of those devices and give you metrics that would demonstrate physically I'm doing okay. We need to be able to answer the question, are you financially doing okay, the same kind of way with metrics. Do you know how much money comes into your home every month? How much do you have saved? Total. What is your debt load? Student debt, auto debt, mortgage debt, credit card debt. What is the total amount of money you actually owe? And where does every dollar you spend go? Really? Well, how much do you spend on bills? How much do you spend discretionarily in the given month? You know, discretionary spending. Like I'm going out to eat, or I'm going to stop by Starbucks and get a gourmet cup of coffee. Well, That's actually a necessity. But whatever category you put it in, you got to account for it somehow. Do you know your financial condition? Here's my challenge for you. Keep a 1-month cash flow journal. Just 1 month. All you do is record money in. Here's how much I have in savings, retirement account, emergency account, whatever. Here's how much I have in savings. Here's how much money I actually owe. And here's where every dollar went. This is how we begin financial planning. We assess, where am I now? Step 2, build a financial vision. Dream about what you want your financial life to look like. Dream it. Don't fantasize, dream. Did you ever have a financial fantasy? Oh, you look at me so piously. When the lotto gets up to about a $500 million, I start going, what would it be like to have $500 million? What cool. And the next thing I know, I'm in this fantasy world of all the things that I could do. But it's just fantasy. No, a vision is a God-inspired picture of what your financial future can look like. Without a vision, Scripture says, people lose restraint. Let me give a little bit more detail. Without a God-inspired sense of direction, go here, do that, we will lack the focus and discipline to achieve what God would love us to achieve. In the end of the month of July, we'll have the Summer Olympics kicking off. I am into the Olympic Games. And of course, you probably know, they all kick off with the opening ceremonies. And all of the athletes gather by nation behind their flag, and they parade into the stadium. And then there's this amazing show that gets put on. Now, I'm going to guess, pretty educated guess, none of the athletes at the opening ceremonies woke up on January 1st of this year and said, my New Year's resolution is going to be to get in shape and win a gold medal. I bet not one of them woke up January 1st that way. Because every one of them, for years, has had a vision of what they wanted to accomplish athletically and in the Olympic Games. And that vision caused them to say no to a bunch of stuff and to say yes to a bunch of other stuff. And all of that discipline in pursuit of a vision brought them to a place where their dream could become a reality. You and I need a financial vision. And we need to create this vision in partnership with God. We're told in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 3, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish, fix, bless, prosper you in your plans. But commit to God. God, what do you want? You help me figure this out to reflect your will for my life. You see, the thing about developing a financial vision and then pursuing that vision is that it's both incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous all at the same time. It has the power to put you in a place where you can bless the world in so many ways. And it has the danger of stealing your heart. Remember what Jesus taught us? He taught us that money is His number one rival for your heart and mine. And so only when we pursue a vision in partnership with God, under the leadership of God, only when we execute a vision in leadership by God and in partnership with God, only then can we realize the power and not be damaged by the danger. Now, if you want to formulate a good financial vision, I think you need to answer at least 4 questions. I'm sure there are more, but here's what I'm going to suggest. Answer these questions. How would you like to contribute to the Christian mission? How generous would you like to be? What do you want to do in retirement? How you want your life to look? How would you like to help your adult kids and grandkids? I know you're kind of obligated to take care of them. Obligation ends, so sorry. But at some point, they become adult. How would you like to help them with college or in their future, your kids and grandkids? How would you like to experience life? What adventures do you want to have? What adventures do you want to have with your family? To bond them, to grow them. These questions will help you formulate, under the leadership of God, a financial vision. So here's my challenge. Develop a financial vision and write it out, or construct a financial vision board. Write out, here's my dream for my financial life. Answering those questions, here's what I dream my financial future looks like. If you're visual, find pictures that represent your financial dreams and then put them on a board. And whether you write it or you picture it, put it somewhere that can remind you regularly of your God-inspired vision for your financial future. Step number 3, create your financial goals. The plans of the righteous are just. If we have righteously, under the leadership of God, created financial goals and plans, then we can be assured that those plans are just. That word means good, right, healthy, blessable by God. Again, 2 basic questions to answer here. How much will I need to save up? For my retirement, how much are we going to have to save up? Yeah, for adventures with my family, how much am I going to have to save up? For emergencies that happen, how much am I going to have to save up? How much am I going to have to save in total or in each individual category for me to be able to achieve my financial vision? And then we need to ask, how much money do I need to free up? How many unnecessary expenditures do I need to stop making so I can divert the money to my financial vision? How much debt do I need to eliminate? Hint, all of it. How much debt do I need to eliminate to be able to direct more of my cash into my financial vision? Maybe this analogy will help you get the picture. Every summer, we put pools in our backyard and fill them up for our grandkids to play in. We have 3 pools and we often fill them all up. There's this little 1-foot plastic pool for the littlest ones. And then there's like a 2-foot pet pool. We figure if it could hold up to a pet, might be able to hold up the grandkids. So we bought a medium pool. And then we were given by a family member a large 3-foot inflatable pool. And on a hot summer day, which means 60 or over, we'll fill the pools up so the grandkids could come and play. Now, the little pool fills up really quickly. 20, 30 minutes is good. And now the medium-sized pool, that might take an hour, maybe an hour and a half. The big pool, that's a half-a-day venture. So the different sizes of the different pools take different amounts of time to be able to fill up. The same is true with our financial life. Our funds, our emergency fund, our retirement fund, our discretionary funds, our educational funds, whatever we may happen to be in our vision, they're going to take time to fill up. Some of them may take most of your life. Some of them you get done in relatively short order. And some of them are going to have to be emptied a little bit. You got to fill them back up again. That's just the way that it works. So know how much you need to put in each fund, each financial pool to achieve your financial vision. Now, we fill our pools up with a hose. You know what is uber frustrating? When we turn all the water on, and then I go out a little bit later to check how it's coming, and I find it hasn't filled up anything at all. The hose is kinked. Oh, that's so frustrating. So you unkink the hose to get the flow going. When you eliminate unnecessary expenditures to divert the money into your financial funds for your vision, you're unkinking your financial hose. When you eliminate debt in your life, you are unkinking the financial hose so the pools can fill up as quickly as possible. Your financial goals are about going, here are the pools I want to fill. Here's how big they are, how much money that I need in all of them, and here's how I'm going to unkink the financial hose to be able to fill them as full as possible. How much do you need to save, and what unnecessary expenditures are you going to eliminate, and debt are you going to retire? Final and fourth step to a financial plan: develop a strategic budget. A budget tells your money where to go. That's what it does. And a strategic budget is set up to move you toward the fulfillment of your financial vision. Every good, God-honoring budget has three categories in it. They all get expanded, they get developed, but there are three categories to a strategic budget. Category number one is what I call the catalyst portion. It's giving. It's category one. One gives freely, proverb tells us, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should and only suffers want. How's that possible? How's it possible somebody freely gives and yet they've got plenty? And somebody else is miserly and stingily and they never have enough. Here's the answer. Giving activates the blessing of God. That's why. And with the blessing of God on our lives in general, with the blessing of God on our finances in particular, we have a much better chance of achieving our financial goals than if we don't give. See, every act of giving as we should, is an act of faith. And faith activates the blessing of God. Giving as we should. Now there's an interesting question, wouldn't you say? How much should we give? There's an Old Testament character, his name was David. He was a king, he killed Goliath. You might remember him. And he was known for being uber generous and super blessed of God because of it. He gives some great insight into what we should give. Here are his words in 1 Samuel 24 and verse 24. He said, I will not present offerings to the Lord my God that have cost me nothing. How much should we give? We should give enough that it's a sacrifice. We should give enough that it makes our financial goals a little harder to achieve. We should give in a way that impacts our lifestyle to some degree. Because if we give like that, it requires faith, and faith always activates the blessing of God. Do you give like that? I remember this episode from the life of Jesus. So instructive. It's recorded in the book of Luke, chapter 21, first 3 verses. Here's what happens. While Jesus was in the temple, the worship center of his day, he watched the rich people dropping their gifts into the collection box. Then a poor widow came by and dropped in 2 small coins. I tell you the truth, Jesus said, this poor widow was given more than all the rest of them, for they have given a tiny part of their surplus. But she, poor as she is, has given everything she has. What a contrast. Jesus looked at the wealthy people and said, here's how they give. They give a tiny part of their surplus. And I hate to say it, but every survey of American Christendom says the exact same thing. The vast majority of followers of Jesus in our culture give a tiny amount of their financial surplus, and it doesn't impact their lifestyle at all. In other words, they're not giving out of faith, and therefore it's not activating the blessing of God. It's a tip, not a gift. Now, I don't know about you. No, I do know about you. You want the blessing of God on your life. You want the blessing of God everywhere, including on your finances. I would rather have the wind of God at my back than in my face. I'd rather have God preparing my way than putting obstacles in my way. And one of the ways that we do that is we just give like we should as an act of faith that impacts our lifestyle to at least some degree, because the faith behind that giving activates the blessing of God. That's why I put the first category, the catalyst category, giving. The second category is the breathing room category, and that's saving money. Take lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. That's the Bible kind of going. Learn from their ways and become wise, though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work. They labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. They save now for inevitabilities later. So many of us don't have financial margin in our life. We have no breathing room because we have no savings. And it creates such stress because we all know we are one bad turn away from disaster. That's how we live our lives. If you were to come with me to Colorado and climb Mount Eolus, there's this stretch that you have to travel in order to go and climb and summit this mountain. And in order to get there, you have to navigate the catwalk. Some of you are starting to sweat right now. I mean, the catwalk by Colorado standards is not that difficult to walk across, but there's no margin. There are hundreds of feet up straight down, just 1 foot either side of you. And that makes your blood pressure go up and your heart rate go up, and it makes everything so stressful because there's no margin. And a lot of Christians live their financial lives the same way. No margin, so no wonder everything is so tense. So create some margin, save. The first thing you need to save for is that emergency fund. That's the first fund, the first pool that you need to fill up. Experts tell us we should have between 3 and 6 months of savings set aside in case there's an emergency. If you were to go to the Motley Fool / emergency fund, there's this super cool calculator where you put in a bunch of information and it lets you know you should have between this much and this much in an emergency fund, between 3 and 6 months. It'll let you know. I suggest that you do it. Fill that pool first. Get some breathing room and drain some stress out of your life. The other 2 pools you need to fill up, there's got to be the retirement pool. It's the biggest pool that most of us are going to have. And we need to start diverting something into that pool now so it can be filling. And there are discretionary pools. This is where our adventures, our vacations, our education, helping our adult kids go, all that kind of stuff. Maybe you've got separate pools, that's cool. But you first do the emergency fund to get some margin and breathing room. Then once that's full, you can divert more money into the other pools. It's the second category. First, the catalyst portion, give. Then the breathing room portion, save. The third portion, we call this the life support portion, spending. Paying my bills, any discretionary money I spend, it comes out of this. This is so critical. We don't live on how much money we make. We live on what's left after we've given and saved. And however you and I need to tighten our belt, however you and I need to eliminate certain things in order to live on what's left is exactly what we need to do. It's hard, but it makes life better and easier the longer you walk that road. Here's everything I tried to say this morning in a nutshell. The first step toward becoming as generous as you'd like to be is make a financial plan. Start by assessing where you are financially and then building a financial vision for your life. From this vision, create your financial goals by determining how much you need to save up, how much you need to free up. And then lastly, develop that strategic budget that will move you toward your goals, that includes what you're going to give, number one, what you're going to save, number two, and then what you're going to live on, number three. This is the first step toward freedom and peace. It's the first step toward being as generous as you'd love to be. Father, thank you for the instruction of your word. May we take it to heart and arrange our lives around your wisdom, I ask. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Dave. Before I let you guys go, we'd like to tell you a little bit about the mission of our church and some of the things that we have going on here. Our mission is to fix the brokenness of our world by connecting as many people as possible to God, other people, and their God-given purposes in life. And so everything we do here is attached to that. And this area right here, our community, this is ground zero for our mission. The vast majority of what we do and our resources goes to what we're doing here on a Sunday morning, what we do out in the community throughout the week. But our mission is way bigger than just this area. And so this is our mission focus month. And so today's message even ties in with this because it is the one time of year that we really ask you to consider giving towards our missionary partners. Now, you might not know who our missionary partners are. You can find them very easily by going to our website and clicking the mission tab, and you can see exactly who we're supporting, and you'll see that their mission is very similar to ours throughout the world. They're trying to fix the brokenness in our world as well. And so one time a year in our missions focus month, we do something called the Faith Promise. This is where we ask you to consider and pray about how much you might give towards our missionary partners by faith. The reason why we do this is because we need to let them know how much we're going to give towards their ministries. You see, because they don't exactly know how much they're getting. And some of these missionary partners, we are literally the only organization that gives to them financially. And so we want to be able to understand what you're thinking about giving so we can let them know exactly what they can expect so they can actually create a financial plan that Dave was just talking about on their basis. All right, and so it really gives them the ability to think about that as well. And so as you're prayerfully considering how much you would like to be involved with, we ask that once you have an idea of what you would like to promise, to let us know. And you do that by going again to our website or to our app. If you don't have the app, you can download it from the QR code right behind me. You go to the app, and at the very bottom, as soon as you open it up, you'll see Faith Promise. And it'll ask you, hey, how much are you wanting to give throughout this year towards missions? And then it'll ask you, what frequency are you going to break that up in? And that gives us the ability to let our missionary partners know, hey, we're going to give you X $1,000 for this year so you can be prepared. Our goal is to give or to raise $60,000 for our missionary partners this year so that they can continue to do what they did last year and maybe even do just a little bit more than what they did last year with inflation and all that kind of stuff. So that's our goal, but that will depend on what we all decide to give. And so please be prayerfully considering that. Now, our mission is also here, right now. And as you know, we are doing Big Serve right now. If you haven't signed up for a Big Serve group, I encourage you to do so because we only have one more week of signups and then Big Serve starts next week. And we're going to be making an impact in our community. So we're trying to make an impact in the world by giving financially and occasionally doing short-term mission trips. But we are also trying to make an impact right here, right now, with our time and our energy and our resources here as well. And so there are lots of different opportunities. It's going to go from Memorial Day all the way through June 1st. And so please go check that out. Sign up for one of those. We would love this to be the biggest Big Serve we have ever done and make a huge impact in our community. But thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for your time. We're so glad that you all could be here today. Don't forget to stop by those Bibles and highlight some verses for some of our graduates so that they can take a look at them too. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you all again next week.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into today's post show. I don't know where you are, but here in Michigan, it's a beautiful, beautiful sunny May day. I love the sun. It's been great. I enjoyed it outside yesterday, too. I know a lot of people probably thought that was hot, but where I'm from, I loved it. It was great.
After the winter we've had, sure. No, I'll take days like that all day long.
I mean, to be fair, this past winter wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad at all,
Wasn't
but
that
it was
bad.
still enough to where I was like, I'm ready for it to be warmer.
My name is Josh. I'm one of the pastors here on staff, and I'm joined by three amazing people. Matt, who shreds any guitar you'll put into his hands.
Oh, boy.
Andy, who knows literally everything about movies. I feel like if you ask him about a random movie, there's a really good chance he's seen it.
Probably.
And then Austin, who knows everything about baseball. we were sitting
guitars.
and guitars. We were sitting here before it started while Perry was doing his wrap up, and we were like, let's just talk about financial plans in baseball. And Austin was like, well, if we're talking about that, we can just spend what's you quoted? What exactly did you say?
Oh,
about?
we would have to spend a whole lot of different times, different aspects,
Yep.
whether major leagues, minor leagues. There's a whole bunch of different aspects that we can talk about, but I don't think that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's not what we're here for.
But
But we can sit here talking about.
asking him like, what is the average salary cap for a minor league player? And he knew.
Yeah, he knew. Yep, he knew. So, yeah, Austin knows all about baseball, including the financial side of baseball. So, but yeah, we're going to dive into breaking down the first message of our new series, pretty much talking about finances and how to honor God with our finances. So, the first question, as always, what stood out to you in today's message? Pull out my notes.
I'll go as somebody who's visual. I'm a very visual learner. The pool analogy was really good. I've heard that stuff explained a lot of different ways, and that's a very easy that everybody can look at and go, yeah,
for sure.
The smallest pool fills up first, and that's where so on and so forth. So I really liked the analogy. Plus, it made me want to go swimming. So
Yeah.
but you can't beat
Today's
that.
a swimming day. If I could find a pool and some time.
Well, there's some rivers and lakes.
There's fish in those.
I've had enough of those when I was a kid. I'm good.
What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I think the whole aspect of connecting finances, particularly to a lot of different verses of insight in Proverbs. There's a lot of wisdom that can be found in the book of Proverbs, and we can apply that even to all different aspects of life, including finances, which often can be something where we can overlook, often can be something where how is that related to God? Can that be God honoring? There are ways that we can make that God honoring. There are ways that practical advice that God gives us through the book of Proverbs that can be applied to life. And so that is something that connecting that with the aspect of creating financial plans, being responsible was something that really stood out.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, you got anything?
Yeah. Financial messages are always difficult for me because finances are never something I've been good at. I'm very ADHD. I have depression, anxiety, which all lead to impulsive buying all the time, which isn't conducive to having, good finances. Especially my career choice doesn't help out too, because I do need gear to record music, and I actually kind of need a lot of it, especially for taking on clients and stuff. And it's all very expensive, and it makes it really difficult to get yourself all set up and off the ground. So, as a whole, it's always challenging to hear financial messages for me.
For me, I think what stood out the most, and this is actually something that we can apply in our lives even outside of our financial area, is the second point or step that he gave was to build a financial vision. And he was talking about the lottery, at least in first service he was. He was talking about the lottery and how we fantasize when the lottery is like $500 million. It's like, oh, shoot, what would I do with $500 million and stuff like that? And Pastor Dave was talking about, well, instead of fantasizing what you want your finances to look like, start building a vision and dedicate that vision to God. And we can apply that within our finances, but we can also take that outside of our finances and apply that within our lives, within our jobs, within how we serve God, with how we love others, with how we raise our kids, with how we go to school, all of those types of things. So I think it was really cool that even in the midst of a financial message, there are things that we can take and apply to our lives day to day. So that is the big thing that stood out to me in this message. I really enjoyed the financial series. Actually, the part of the book that I'm reading called Think Ahead by Craig Rochelle just went through an entire thing about finances. And I don't know why. It's just something I've always really enjoyed talking about. So let's move on. How can we assess where we are financially? So how can we look at our day-to-day life, our day-to-day spending, and how can we figure out where we are financially?
I think it starts by one, taking a step back and actually looking to see how you are using the resources that God has given you.
Yeah.
Where are you putting a lot of your money, and to what extent are you doing it? I think you have to take an honest evaluation just to assess where everything is. I think that applies to a lot of different aspects, as you were stating right there, seeing where you are, and then making some sort of evaluations and decisions for there. How does that line up best with a lot of visions that you have going forward? Are you going to be able to achieve the goals that you want to under the current states that you're at?
Yeah.
I think it starts first with an inward, honest conversation, an honest evaluation, knowing where things sit.
Yeah.
Which is finances are really wonderful in that part because you can actually put a number to it.
Mhm.
Like if you're
Yeah.
trying to assess like your health or something, sometimes it's not as easy unless you got Dave's ring.
If you got Dave's whole process.
Dave's ring, Dave's scale, Dave's this, Dave's that. It's like, sheesh, man.
Dave's got all the toys for that, but you
I
can
like go over and mess it all up a little bit, like throw off the metrics.
You know how the Bible talks about how God knows all the hairs on our head?
Yeah.
Dave also knows all the hairs on his head. Only person ever. He knows exactly how many he's got.
For that. Yeah, we should go over, change all of this.
Well, Josh, as you
to,
get
like,
older, you start to
stone.
count those hairs on your head more and more.
They start falling out.
They start falling out. I'm like, oh no.
But yeah, it's wonderful because we can. There's actually numbers for it, and you can see. You can type everything in on a spreadsheet, and you can see where you're at.
Yeah.
Just from a number standpoint, and if you're hitting your goals and such. Like that.
Yeah.
My joking answer would be, I go ask Angie. But
Angie's his wife.
Angie's my wife. But in reality, like you were saying and what you were saying, it's actually nice that you can point to, you can look at all of your monthly bills. You can look at where your savings are. You can look at where you're giving, and you can take what you're bringing in and making sure. So it's being honest and taking the time to do it, because life can get busy, and the last thing we want to do is really take a step back and then possibly be upset at ourselves that I spend too much on coffee or snacks or comic books and movies, stuff like that. So you have to really take your own shields down and be like, all right, we're going to really go into this and make sure that we're using these gifts that God has given us correctly.
Right. I think for me, whenever I actually took the step back to view my finances, my parents, they're separated. And the main reason that they got separated was finances. My dad had a really good job. They were trying to move him to Texas. He didn't want to move to Texas, so he stayed at the location in Myrtle Beach. And then 2008 happened, and it messed up everything financially, which my parents ended up getting separated over. So my mom was very intentional about teaching me about finances. Like, I would get my birthday money, and she'd be like, we're saving this much, we're tithing this much. So I had these things instilled and hammered into me for years. And I remember when I was in high school, I had just started working, and I was kind of tithing, I was kind of giving, but I was just going with the flow. And I took a step back and looked at the people that were older than me, like my youth leaders, and seeing how they manage their finances, and asking a lot of questions. Like, how do you get to a place, I know you don't make a whole lot of money, but how do you live with such a generous heart and such a happy place? Because what I had seen growing up was financial stress all the time. So because I didn't want what my mom and dad went through, I took a step back to look at my finances compared to other people that I knew had a really good financial state, even though they weren't making boatloads of money. And I was able to take those principles and apply them into my life. So I think we can take a step back and look at the numbers like you were sharing, but then also go, I want to be like that person who I know is living in the full freedom of not having to worry about financial stress all the time. So I think when we do that, that's a huge step in the right direction.
And it is, I mean, I was always brought up being told, don't talk about money. Don't talk about money. But it's okay. If you have people you trust to sit down and have a conversation, or if you really need help forming a budget or something, you can ask. That's okay.
Yes.
There are always people that want to help.
And
be there for you for that. Absolutely. So speaking of finances, financial plans, counting the money, why do you think that God wants us to have a financial plan?
It's unfortunately necessary to live, and he wants us to live happy lives. Happy, but
the best life you can lead.
The best life we can, and unfortunately, it's a necessary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a necessary thing. I also think God has given us a gift and a lot of responsibilities that we have in our lives, people that we were responsible to, things and causes that God has placed in our lives. And I think with a financial plan, I think that creates a tool, creates a way for us to be able to effectively use the resources that God has given to us in a way that allows us to take care of families, take care of people that we care about, while also being able to, as Dave was stating, as we are called to do, advance the mission, go out and spread the gospel, go out and be a blessing towards people. It's really kind of hard to be a blessing towards people if you are all consumed about different desires, different things that perhaps I want. This looks cool. I'm just going to go ahead and get it. Having a lot of those impulsive decisions, I think we all know as human beings, sometimes our impulsive decisions are not great.
Yeah.
And so having a financial plan, having a thing that we're able to turn to and try to help us constrain ourselves, I think is really good, a good tool, and also something that can also be, as a lot of these different aspects apply to many different areas of life.
Right, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, God wants us to have a plan because, number one, having a plan works. It's been proven over and over again. And like Dave was saying, you don't just raise your kids by, we always trust God, of course, but we don't just turn over to him, because God does not say, turn everything over to me and you don't have to do anything. No, you still have to put forth the effort and the work. And plans take work. Plans are not always fun. Some people love to plan. I'm glad my wife loves to plan. I hate planning. I'm like, let's just go and we'll figure it out. She goes, but what are we going to do when we get there? I don't know. What she wants to know. But guess what? You need both, because if I just go, we probably won't do anything, because I haven't planned accordingly, haven't saved, haven't done this, so nothing's ready. And so there's it like you said, having a financial plan not only allows us to steward God's gifts that he's given us, because everything we have is his, not ours.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for humans to go, I made this money. No, God allowed you and gave you those gifts. You should be using them how his word and how he tells us to use them. And guess what? When you do that, that freedom happens. You also get to still have the fun stuff that you like, but you're not driven by the fun stuff you like. And that's where it's easy to fall victim to every time for me, where I'm like, oh, I need this. I need that. I need this. I need that. No, you don't.
Yeah, I think a better way that I could have worded this question whenever I talked about it is the book that I'm reading. It talks about how everybody has a financial plan, just some people don't know it.
That's good.
Like the people that are just spending money, they're not paying attention to what's coming in, what's going out, what they're saving, what they're giving, all that kind of stuff. They have a financial plan. Their financial plan is just use my money how I want to use it.
Yeah.
And like one of the things that Dave was talking about, like even though you might not be a planning person, I'm not necessarily a planning person for most things, but we're making so many decisions during the day that we're actually creating plans within our heads without even knowing it. It's like when we get here to church, we park our car. I'm going to go and walk through the front doors. That's your plan. That's what you're planning on doing. And we honor God with it whenever we intentionally take that plan and go, I'm going to break down this. I'm going to make sure, here's my $1,000 paycheck. Here's the 10% that I'm first giving to God, the 100, all of that. And just keep breaking down those things. That's what honors God whenever we're taking in what he has given us. And stewarding it well and giving it back to him, to his kingdom, and to the things that he calls us to do to honor him. Absolutely. Our last question, and I think this will be a really interesting one. Andy, I know for you, you've lived a lot of life. You've probably made a lot of financial plans. You work in the insurance industry. What are some examples that we can have in our day-to-day lives of financial goals? Like maybe it's a goal that you currently have set. Maybe it's goals that you've seen other people have set that you would just love to be able to do within your finances, or that we can encourage people listening. Some good financial goals.
I mean, I have one that I'm currently working on. For the first time ever, I have an emergency fund.
Think of that.
Yeah. I'm not great with finances, but I am trying. you know.
And trying is more important than just saying, I'm not good at it, so
Right,
I'm not
Yeah,
going to do
and
anything.
here's the thing. I want to drop it real fast. When Pastor Dave is up there talking, like, I know when we hear these types of messages, it can be like, oh my gosh, I got to get my entire life and finances in order right now. That is not at all what he's trying to communicate, what we're trying to communicate. We just want to help you start the process and start taking these steps and start applying these things within your life. It's not going to be Rome was built in a day. It's gonna take some time. So, anyways, you can keep going.
Yeah. So, like right now, it's in a spot where, like, if anything happened to my car, I could probably get it fixed. But I want it to be in a spot where if my car is totaled, and like I can get a new car, like I don't
not have to worry
not
about
have
that.
to
Yep.
be in complete ruin.
Yeah.
You know. So I would like to double my emergency fund.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, that is a really good goal. So it's almost been a year ago now that I actually started my position, graduated from grad school about this time last year, then got a position as a biostatistician, which I'm really enjoying. And what I've been doing...
I'm glad somebody does.
I know.
I'm sorry, because I hear that, I'm like, oh no, Andy would not do good with that. I am not a
can't
numbers
think of
guy.
a more fun job than a biostatistician. No, so it's been a lot of time, and especially a couple months ago when I really took that step evaluation and tried to place an emphasis instead of just throwing it into a generic savings. How do I effectively want to utilize all of these resources so then I can help build a good baseline retirement, emergency savings? How can I help, especially in the future and especially during tough times, especially for trying to get into housing situation in the future? How can I best use these resources to help save, to help create a baseline for hopefully a family down the line or for myself going forward? So it's been a lot of creating different baselines and also putting a lot of resources and staying consistent with this budget, even though there's certain things that I want to do. I set some of those stuff aside and budget stuff out, go to a lot of baseball games, but I also am not doing it recklessly and have a plan for that. And I'm able to, while doing that, saving for housings and for a car and for insurance and for all these different aspects.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
You guys gotta get going?
Austin and Matt, thank you guys for answering that question.
Not a problem.
You guys have to watch later to find what my financial
Yeah,
goal is.
you have to go watch.
I'm purposely going to wait till you leave to get my answer.
Oh, okay.
Have fun going to play some instruments. We appreciate all that you do.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it
guys.
was fun being on.
See you guys.
All right.
And then there were two.
Now that we got rid of the excess. You know what? As I get a little bit older, and as I continue to work, I see my kids getting ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So some of my goals are, how can Angie and I be financially stable to help them too as they move out? Because I know when we first got married, my folks were helpful, Angie's folks were helpful. So that's one of the main things I like to look forward to. But number two is I want to make sure that when Angie and I are ready to stop working, we are able to. So she has certain things that she does at work and certain things you can track, and and we can always, she'll send me a text. She goes, "It's in the green. Green means good," thankfully. So it's one of those things. So we're a lot more thoughtful about that type of stuff. So it's basically setting up a post kids life in the house, and how can we most utilize what we have while having fun, but still not going overboard.
Right.
And just going, hey, the kids are gone. We have all this extra money. No, we're going to continue to live like we do now. So that way that money goes and I can do more with it in terms of when something comes up, we can help people out in the church or even people that we know, friends, family, stuff that happens. So that's kind of where I'm thinking and leaning towards some financial goals. And when there's Comic-Cons and stuff like that, to have fun too.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My wife and I, at the start of every single year, we set goals for our finances, and we typically we always have this is how much we want to save. And so I think this year we're wanting to try to save a little over $10,000 into our bank account. Another one that we do is we are big time givers. I believe that is very important. God has blessed us with this. He has shown us a generosity gospel, and that is to give to people.
Yep.
So I we try to give, and each year we up that percentage. So I think like right this year is like 13% of everything that comes in, at least 13% we want to go out and give. And our big goal, the one that we're pursuing, I know it's probably going to be a few years down the line, like we're about to have kids, but my heart so desires to live in a place like when I buy a car, instead of taking the car that I had and trading it in to help buy the car, I want to give that car to somebody who's in need of a car. Yep. So like I want to live in that place where whenever I buy a fridge, buy an appliance, buy whatever, I can take the one that I had and I can give it to somebody who needs it. And like that for me would be just the ultimate like financial goal if I was able to do that. So, but yeah, we have a savings goal, a giving goal, a retirement goal, all those types of things, house funds, because we're trying to do all that. So, but yeah, we set a bunch of different goals. At the end of the year, we have our 5 or 6, and we look at them and we go, check, 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 X. We got to improve so that we can set our goals for the next year. So we would love to hear everybody in the comments. We would love to hear some of your financial goals. Sometimes when we share some of the goals that we have set, other people can see and go, oh, I've never thought about that. Or, hey, I want to try to pursue that too. Yeah. So I'm super excited to see where this series goes over the next couple of weeks. As always, if you have any questions at all about today's message or about anything you come across in the Bible, you can go to my3c.org to the Submit a Question tab. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m., myself and Pastor Dave, we sit down and we answer and go through those questions. Our goal is to one day get to every single question that has been asked, but we have like over 100 in our bank. So it's a great thing. So we are just going to answer the questions when we can, and hopefully we will get to your question. Now, if you're like submitting a question, you're wanting an answer within 24 to 48 hours, on that Submit a Question tab, there's a little link that you can click. It takes you to our Connect card, and on our Connect card, you can put the question in there, a little bit of information, and somebody on staff will get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. One more big shout out to our 2024 graduates. We're all very proud of you here at Connections. We'll be continually praying for you to have the endurance to continue running the race that God has given you. Everybody that's tuning in, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you either Wednesday night at our Q&A or next Sunday at one of our services. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you're going to get to enjoy some sunshine. See you guys later.